No other Denver TV station was a car dealership first. There were Packards in the window for a time before we took over. KBTV remodeled the place and moved in the summer of '53. We signed on 9 months earlier in an old wooden building that's long gone near Spear and Colfax downtown. Jim Butts was one of the engineers who helped get the station on the air.
It was kind of a Chinese fire drill, and one of the things was, for example, that our transmitter got lost by United Airlines. Now, how you do that, I'm not sure I know.
Joe Harold was the first general manager. He discovered the transmitter had been sent to San Francisco.
Joe Harold said he often wondered why he didn't have any hair, and he said that was one reason on this. We could have been on the air earlier, maybe a week earlier.
The first transmitter was installed in a Quonset hut on Lookout Mountain. That one wasn't very powerful and was replaced with RCA's latest model a year later. It was 25 times more powerful, but it had a lot of problems.
We could get it on, but the instruction book came to us about a year later. It wasn't built for that elevation, which is 7,500 feet.
Blisner's the man at the transmitter who kept the station on the air the first 23 years. Down in town, the first newscaster was Bill Michelson, a popular Denver radio personality.
Since it was a rip and read operation, news was still primarily radio. And really what we were doing was just a guy reading the radio news.
Vince Montfort forecast the weather. We know that because his picture's in a TV and radio weekly from 1953. The original board of directors is pictured too. 15 men who, between them, kicked in $1 million startup money. Max Goldberg was the 16th board member. Max is the father of Channel 9. He's the one who organized the money group and went to Washington to get the permit to build the station.
He loved communications. He was so forward-thinking, and I think that it was just a part of his being, a part of his way of life.
As Channel 9 rode out of the 50s into the 60s with Sheriff Scotty's Kids Show, the owners were Tulsa businessman John Mullins and New York real estate tycoon William Zeckendorf. They bought out the original owners at a time when the station was losing $25,000 a month. Mullins' friend Oral Roberts loaned him much of the money needed to buy the station. Mullins knew a lot of important people, including Hubert Humphrey, and he delighted in entertaining at his home in the Polo Grounds. He counted on his managers to make good decisions, and the red ink was soon gone.
Mullins used to have the saying that he didn't know how to make an apple pie, but he sure as hell knew whether it was a good one or not.
The first big change of the 60s was the addition of a news department. The first anchorman was Arthur J. Smith. He'd been in broadcast news a number of years when he was hired. Smith remembers the Federal Communications Commission forced Mullins to hire news people.
In fact, I think they even said this to John. If you don't have a news department, your license is in jeopardy.
Former Denver Post columnist Clark Seacrest was part of that first news team.
You talk about starting from ground zero. We had no equipment. We had no car. We had no vote of confidence from the station ownership.
By the mid-60s, the news department had a big supporter in station management, Al Flanagan. Before Flanagan, station ratings had gone from rags to rags. Channel 9 was occasionally fourth in a 5-station market. Engineer Mike Tucker has seen the changes. He's been at Channel 9 for nearly 35 years and has saved pens and bits of history along the way. He says the biggest change came in 1964.
One of the biggest boosts for television was the advent of color.
Tucker's favorite story, he laughs about it now, was when he was running a camera on top of a building at Frontier Days one year. A bolt of lightning struck near him and he ran to a warming hut.
I took the headsets off and made the 50 feet in 3 steps to the warming hut. And they were calling for me on the headsets, I heard later, but I wasn't there. I was in the warming hut, and then a gust of wind came up, and bingo, there went my camera.
Yes, that's John Rayburn having a little fun feeding ducks. Good grief, who's that? Oh, it's me anchoring weekend sports and out in the field doing stories in 71 and 72. The news team back then was Carl Akers, John Rayburn, John Cromwell, and Lynn Sanner.
Action Cam, live Action Cam.
Here's the way we promoted Action Cam when it came along in the mid-70s. Our call letters were still KBTV then.
Action Cam, from the time it leaves the scene till the time it reaches you. Less than 1,000th of a second. Live.
And here's Ed after the Big Thompson flood in 1976.
And a crew went in on the ground also, and we'll have their reports at 10 here on KBTV Denver.
There's a feeling of drowning all day.
You're right if you guessed that's Paula. She came to work as an assistant on the assignment desk in 1977.
Station's 25th birthday today.
That was the other one. That's the one we were missing. Yay.
Mike looked a little different then, too.
Mike, have I got it?
In 1976, Channel 9's reputation for photographic excellence began as the staff won the first of 6 national awards as the best in the country. Here's what the newsroom looked like in 1978. Gary Cruz juggled phones gathering sports news. Here's a young Ward Lucas, and Mike Nolan, and Carl Akers. Carl was in charge of the newsroom through much of the 70s. At one point, he helped lead Channel 9 to the highest ratings in any major market in the United States. Roger Ogden was Carl's right-hand man. He's the general manager at Channel 4 now. Mullins was the first of 3 different owners in the 70s. Combined Communications took over in 1971 and merged with Gannett in 1978. Despite many changes, the station flourished with Charles Leisure as president and general manager through most of the decade.
I think one of the reasons that we're #1 is that KBTV, the station, the management, allows us to use our own creativity, our imaginations, to go out and try something, experiment with film or tape, and come back with a product that perhaps the other stations hadn't even thought about.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Kobrick, and this is the staff of Channel 9.
KUSA! Good morning, Colorado!
So in the twinkle of an eye, we changed from KBTV, the BTV stood for Better Television, to KUSA. The new call letters fit our image as a part of Gannett, publishers of USA Today.
A very pleasant good morning, everyone. I'm Larry Camp. It is the 23rd day of April.
And I'm Mark Kobrick. We are indeed KUSA now as of about...
Why don't we just watch here for a second? Neil, if you have any comments, go ahead.
We're seeing the plane is now about 40 feet off the runway.
By the 80s, live remotes from breaking news stories were the norm. Nearly everybody in town was watching one afternoon in September 1982. There was fear that a crippled Frontier Airlines jet might crash on landing.
You can see a lot of fire trucks chasing after him down the runway.
The whole city heaved a sigh of relief.
Ricardo, there'll be no tape. That will be a live remote from TSB-7, okay?
B7. As we acquired more and more tools for coverage, those of us in the news and engineering departments found we needed each other more than ever.
We had to bag the USA Today story for now so Kathy can fly because it's lightning. When somebody gets finished, can we start on again? It may be dropped, so don't kill yourself for it, but...
Growth pains of the 70s settled into routine teamwork in the 80s.
There's one right here. We've got a lightning strike at 14 from 10. All right.
Light for Life dispatch a few minutes ago was telling us about...
The newsroom has gone through several remodelings. We may have made more efficient use of the space, but after the growth spurt of the 70s, there was never enough room in the 80s. The news set has changed a couple of times. This was in 1983. Destruction of an old set brought mixed emotions for many of us. We'd get kind of attached to it, but as a news set was built, it was fun to anticipate the change and new look on the air. Some of the spots promoting 9 News back then looked like Hollywood productions.
Great company, come on along to the place where you belong. Come on along with Channel 9. We're reaching out and feeling fine. Come on along with Channel 9. Come on along with Channel 9.
And where that was in the basement here
That was
somewhere?
here in the basement. Has everything any newsroom could possibly want.
Someone was doing an interview with film star Victor Jory when the picture was snapped. The scrapbook belongs to Jill Ferris. She was one of the first women on television in Denver and was on the air from 1954 to 57 on Channel 9. Ferris was a TV star. She was on the air more than 2 hours a day doing a cooking show and interviews.
I always came with the rip and tear stuff. standing by in case an interview didn't show up or something didn't happen according to Hoyle.
She received a talent fee for commercials and earned $1,000 one month.
Glad you feel
Very
that way.
nice to meet you. I've
Nice
heard
to
your
meet
name
you.
many times.
Well, thank you. I don't know where you would have done that, but then that's fine.
I have.
Ferris has
I
something
broke
in
it in
common
for
with
you.
Bill
You
Custer.
still do
She
that.
did the weather too. She was excited to be in a TV studio again.
It looks fun. The kitchen was over there.
She marveled at the changes since the 50s.
From the computer.
Gosh.
Jill Ferris.
Hi!
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
I understand that you were the one of the first
Oh, I
here.
taught you everything you
That's
know.
right. We learned
Nick Carter showed her how the computer helps with forecasts.
And you know how I used to get mine.
Look outside for
No, well, that too. But you'd call Stapleton. And you'd
Things have changed dramatically. In Jill's day, copy from a wire machine was read on the air by one person, and that was that.
All right, we need to get to Boulder. Where is Delosier?
In the 90s, when something important happens, more than 125 of us get involved. When the U.S. attacked Iraq, there was a lot of uncertainty. Would Israel be attacked? Would there be terrorist attacks in the U.S.?
We're the guy in the West Bank. Okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
Eric's cutting that, and we can do him off the newsroom camera.
I've got Neil Brown calling anybody in Washington, Colorado delegation, anything to see if they've got any idea what's
Where's
going on.
Hank Brown? Can we get Roger Wolf on the phone,
Yeah,
please?
Neil-
Bill,
working that in
can you
Washington.
speed
I'm
dial?
going to put Tom Costello on the newsroom
Northern
camera. He
Bureau
just
and
got off the
Western
phone.
Smoke Bureau,
He's
get
got
him
on
out the
tape.
door.
Neil.
In the director's booth and in the studio, everyone had to be ready to go on locally in case the network decided to take a break.
Thanks. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in the Persian Gulf at the moment. Let's go back to Saudi Arabia, where ABC's Bill Rediker.
One of the women doing closed captioning did something many of us wanted to do. She cried as she typed.
That the attack has begun. Give us an overall sense of what you know.
Look at us, you'll find people so real, people who feel the way you do. When we get together, you're always sure to find it's all right here on Channel 9. Look at us and reach out for life and all of the good things life can bring. There's so much to share together in these changing times. Look at us, it's all right here on Channel 9. Look at us, you'll find people so real, people who feel the way you do. When we get together, you're always sure to find it's all right here on Channel 9. Look at us and reach out for life and all of the good things life can bring. There's so much to share together